Welcome to the Home Designer Kitchen Seminar. My name is Emily, and I will be presenting a complete kitchen design, which will take us about an hour. Throughout this seminar, feel free to type in any questions you have. There are quite a few attending today's seminar, so give us a few minutes to respond. Before we get started with our kitchen design, I want to show you the GoToMeeting control panel. First, we have our audio settings. If you do not see this larger area, it is minimized to a little icon that locates to the upper right-hand corner of your monitor. Select that orange arrow button, and that will restore the full control. Under the audio mode, the standard is use mic and speakers. If you're not able to hear me correctly through your speakers, double-check the volume on your computer, or select this audio setup link, and that will give you additional controls. You can also select the Use Telephone radial, and that will give you a new telephone number, code, and PIN if the speakers are not working correctly for you. The next option is the questions area. You can type in any questions at the lower box, select Send, and you'll see a log of your question and our answer. And this is the form of question and answer we'll be using today. So if you have any questions, feel free to chat those in. We offer many different home designer programs to meet your design needs. Today I will be using our Home Designer Professional. We'll be getting into the program overview, be placing walls. I'll show you how to dimension. We'll place doors and windows. And with our cabinet layout, we'll be creating custom cabinets, place appliances. We'll be designing a custom backsplash as well as the automatic backsplash controls. We'll create a custom kitchen island, place lighting, and at the end we'll get into our plan set options. So let's get started within our Home Designer Professional. Within all of our Home Designer programs, when you launch up the software, you'll see these startup options. On the right-hand side, we can select a new plan. On the left-hand side, we can select Getting Started, and that will direct you to the online training videos, help articles, and other help resources. Let's start with the new plan, and this will bring up our new plan options. Under the Home Style templates, we have many different styles and materials for you to choose from. You can also select whether you'd like to use the imperial units or metric units. If we go back up to our category option, we can select the interior templates, and these are actually already created rooms. If you select that island kitchen, that will bring up a complete plan of a custom kitchen, and this is very similar to the kitchen we'll be creating today. I already have a plan open, so I'll select Cancel. And this will bring us to our screen. Across the top, you'll notice our default toolbar set. And over on the right-hand side, we have our library browser and additional toolbars. Across the top, you'll notice our default toolbar. First, we have our Select Objects tool. Next, we have our straight and curved wall options. I'm using the Parent-Child toolbar. You also have a drop-down toolbar if you'd like to use that option. For the Parent-Child toolbar, I'll select the Parent Wall tool. Over on the right-hand side, we'll see our Exterior Wall, Interior, Foundation, Pony Wall, Railing, Half Wall, and Invisible Wall. We'll start out with this Exterior Wall. Bring the cursor right down onto your grid, click, and drag. This will bring up a temporary dimension, so you have an idea of how long that wall is. And we'll just continue working around. You can also drag out the wall. Once you've placed that wall, you can single click on it and single click on that temporary dimension of the wall. You can then type in, let's do 16.5 feet, press enter, and that wall will adjust for you, so you can dimension in that regard. Today we'll be focusing on one room, and the room is actually open up to the living area. So I need to use my invisible wall tool to define this area so the flooring and the ceiling and everything is generated for us. We'll just drag that down and finish off the room with our interior wall. So you can use multiple walls to create one room for the space that you need. And then a living area is created and that square footage is calculated for you. You can also single click, let's say on this left wall, and you'll see the temporary dimension across. So you can also select that temporary dimension if you want to dimension the space of the room, or you can also go up to your dimensioning tools. We have a dimension tool. Within Home Designer Pro, you'll find many more dimensioning tools, but in all of them, you'll have the manual dimension, end-to-end, auto exterior options. So within the Home Designer Pro, we also have this interior dimension tool. So we can just drag that right through the room and it will locate the interior of the walls. We can then select the bottom wall, select that dimension we've created, and let's change that to 24 feet. Press Enter, and that will change the dimension of our room as well. So many different options when dimensioning the space. Now let's delete our dimension line. Just single click on that dimension, hit backspace on your keyboard to delete that. Now let's get into a perspective camera view. With our camera, we have a full camera, full overview, which will include any roof design or ceiling. And then we also have a dollhouse view, and this will eliminate that roof or ceiling that's been generated. As you can see with our invisible wall that has left the opening for our living area. In our toolbar, we have a Move Camera with Mouse option. I prefer using this orbit camera, but you can also pan and have many different controls when moving in this 3D view. With the orbit camera, we can just orbit that around, just click and drag that 3D model. You'll notice with the exterior wall, we'll have the exterior siding. I'm going to orbit right back around here, and let's add a door and some windows. So I'll go to my door tool. Within the door options, you have the hinge door, a doorway, sliding door, pocket door, bifold, and a garage door. I'll select our sliding door here. Just bring your cursor right down onto that wall, single click, and that will automatically place the door in there for you. Now for our windows, we have a standard window, bay window, box, bow, and a pass-through tool. For the standard window, I'll just put that right on my wall, single click, so that's dropped into place. I'm going to zoom in. You can zoom in with your scroll wheel on your mouse. You can zoom in and out. If you hold down your scroll wheel, you can also pan the plan around, so we can move it up or down as one unit. Now let's open this window for further specification. You can select that window, and down at the bottom, you'll notice you have editing tools. In some programs, this editing toolbar will be on the left-hand side of your monitor. One of the options says Open Object. This will open the object for further control. We can change this to single casement and have control over that swing direction here. We need to also change the height. We'll do 42 inches and 86, so we can be placing cabinets underneath our windows. And under the Lights tab, I'll just add a few lights here. And we can also change that to Craftsman if we want. So now that I've made alterations to this window, I want to copy it and paste. So while it's still selected, we have a copy and paste tool in this editing toolbar. And then we can just single click on the other side to place that. Now let's get back into our floor plan view. Now let's dimension the openings. For our door, if we select the exterior of that door, you'll notice the temporary dimensions locate to the exterior of the wall. You can also single-click on the interior of that door, and it will locate to the interior of the wall. So I'll select the temporary dimension that appears, and we'll do 2 feet, press Enter. And for the windows, I want to move them both at the same time. So we can multiple select just by holding down Control on the keyboard. And let's select the exterior of the window for that exterior dimension. Single click on the temporary dimension. We'll do 4 feet, Enter. And as you notice, they both move together since they're both selected. You also notice labels on these windows. Within our Home Designer programs, they do work on a layer system. So we do have a shortcut here, Display Options, and this will bring up all of the different layers. So the cabinets are on their own layer, walls, and so forth. So I'm going to type in D on my keyboard. That will bring me down to the doors, and we can go to the labels, find that they're checked for used and checked for displayed. If we don't want to see those labels, we can just click on that check. Same with windows. Let's go down to our window, labels. Single click on that display so it's unchecked. And now that's been cleaned up. So you can display labels or not. It's really up to you on the information you need on your design. All right, well, let's get into our cabinet tools. So across the top, we'll get into that cabinet. We have the base cabinet, wall cabinet, full height, soffit tool, shelf and partition, so you can create any custom closets, entertainment centers, built-ins with these tools. And you'll also have a custom countertop tool. So we'll start out with that base cabinet. Bringing our cursor down to the grid, you'll see the outline of the 24-inch. I'll single click and drop that into our plan. I'll then single click on that cabinet, go down to the editing toolbar, open the object, and let's change the width to 36 inches. Hit Tab and that will update in your preview. I'll also be placing a sink in this cabinet. So instead of a real drawer, I'd like a false drawer. And I need to specify the shelving. Within all of the Home Designer programs, you can leave the shelves in there or turn them off. In Home Designer Pro, you actually have a manual option, so you can be even more specific. But I'll just hit 0 there. And OK. We can then put our cursor right into the corner, and that base cabinet will automatically change to a corner cabinet. And we'll just drop one more in here. We'll do a 24-inch. And continue working around, just drop those right in. And we can also resize, just single click on that cabinet. And you'll see those editing handles, so you can drag that out. I'll drag this out as well. We'll do 36 inches here. And you'll notice both the temporary dimension as well as the cabinet label will change as you change that cabinet. All right, let's get into the full height and just drop in a full height here. And let's change that to 42 inches. All right, let's get into a camera view. This time we'll use our full camera. With the full camera, you click where you're standing and drag to your focus. And we can continue editing these cabinets in this view. To get back to the Select Object tool, just hit the space bar. That's a good shortcut to get back to the Select Object tool. And I'm just going to double click on our cabinet. Double clicking is the same as selecting that Open Object tool in the toolbar. So for our cabinet, I want to make sure Under the countertop, I select flat sides, so there's no overhang. And under the front tab, I'll select our preview and change this to a drawer at 9 inches, then hit Tab on the keyboard to update. I'll select that blank area, do the same thing. We'll do a drawer. And for the corner cabinet, I'll double click on our corner cabinet, go to that front tab, and we have some corner options. We can uncheck diagonal door, and as you can see in the preview, it's changed to a pie cut option, but I want to keep that a diagonal door, so I'll check that again. And with Home Designer Pro, you do have the option to add a Lazy Susan. Now let's add some appliances. So over on the right-hand side, I have my library browser open, and this will enable me to find the different objects I want to place. So within our Home Designer core catalogs, those are numerous generic objects that you can select and place in your design. We also have bonus catalogs that are releases from us periodically of new catalogs. We also have manufacturer catalogs you can download right off of our website, and then user catalog. And this user catalog will enable you to create your own folders and copy and paste any typical appliances and materials that you use frequently. So I found a dishwasher from our core library and added that to my user catalog. With our dishwasher, we can single click on that cabinet and it will drop in there automatically. Same with our sink. I have a 32-inch undermount sink, so we can just place our cursor right over the cabinet, single click, and that's dropped into place. We also have standalone appliances, so for instance, a range. I'll single click on this cabinet. This was only a placeholder, so I can just hit backspace on my keyboard to delete that. And let's go find a range. So under my core catalog, architectural, appliances, and ranges, we'll find that standalone area. I'll get into the large range options, and you can browse through all of the different visuals we have here. Just place your cursor right in that opening area and drop that into place. So very easy to place appliances, whether they're dropped into a cabinet or standalone. Now let's get into our wall cabinets. Back into our cabinet tool, I'll select our wall cabinet, and we can continue working in our 3D view here. We'll see that outline of the corner, single click to drop that cabinet, and we'll continue working. That's a 24-inch wall cabinet. We can also single click on the cabinet, and then with the editing handles, we can drag that in, and that temporary dimension enables us to see it's changed to the 12 inches. We can also stack cabinets. We bring our cursor right up to the ceiling, place it in the corner, it will drop in that corner cabinet for us. And I'll drop in a few more, resize this guy back to the 12. And let's bring them down to 15 inches. Just single click on those cabinets, grab the editing handle, and drag it down. I'm now going to select all 3 cabinets just by holding down Control on the keyboard and single clicking on all 3 cabinets. I'll then go down to my editing toolbar and select Open Object, so we can change all 3 at the same time. First, I want to select my door/drawer area, and we can change the door style to frame door, and the glass doors automatically is checked. I also want to remove the hardware, so I'll select none for the handles. Now let's add molding. Select that Moldings tab, add New, and this will bring up our library. So it only brings up the folders that contain molding. So I'll expand these and get into the crown molding. Selecting that folder you'll see a preview of all of the different options. And then we can alter the height. Let's do 2.5 inches. And as you can see in our preview, the molding is in line with the top of the cabinet. So we need to change our vertical offset. So I typically stick with negative, whatever that height is, and that positions it easily for me here. All right, now you can see all of the molding has been placed. So I'd like to copy a few of these cabinets and place them on the other side of my room. So let's get into our plan view and copy and paste these on the other side. We're able to bring up our plan view as well as our 3D view at the same time. Just go up to a window and down to tile vertically. Then you can work in your plan view while your 3D view is still open. So I'm going to scroll in just with my scroll wheel. You can zoom in to our kitchen. And I'm going to highlight just a few of our wall cabinets and copy and paste them on the other side of our range. So a quick and easy option is to select the wall cabinet tool, hold down Shift on your keyboard, click in Marquee, just drag a marquee around those wall cabinets you want to select. And as you can see, the marquee is over our wall, the base cabinets. But since I have that wall cabinet selected, it only reads the wall cabinet as being highlighted. So now I can copy and paste those. So go down to your editing toolbar. This time I'm going to use my copy and paste in place. So that just copies the same cabinets right on top. And in our Home Designer Pro version, you can select Reflect About Object. So then we can place our cursor right over the range, single click, and have those cabinets reflect over that range so all of the dimensions and everything are correct as well. So in our 3D view, let's rotate around a bit. I'll select my Move Camera with Mouse Orbit tool so we can rotate and see our view. So it looks like we need to bring up our full height cabinet. So I'll single click on that and bring that up. And let's add molding. I'll select that open object, get into our molding tab, and find that same molding we used for the wall cabinets. Get into the crown molding, and we'll change the height to 2.5. and that offset at -2.5. And there we are. I'm going to multi-select my cabinets and open those. Just go down to your Open Objects, select that face, and I want to change those to right doors. We'll do that on the other side as well. Multi-select just by holding down Control on the keyboard. Open those for specification. Select that image, and then we can change those to left. So very easy to customize your cabinets. Now we need a hood in that opening, so let's go find our range hood. I'm going to close down a few libraries here, and I believe I've saved one in my catalog. So let me open up my folder here, and I do have that hood saved in there. So I can just bring that right over, single click, drop that into place. Then let's resize this with our editing handles. We can also make sure that this is centered over our range. Down in the editing toolbar, select that Center Object tool. Bring your cursor right over the range, single click, and that's been centered for us. So now I want to focus on our built-in refrigerator area. So I'm going to close our 3D window, expand our plan view here, And we have another shortcut. It's called F6. Just hit F6 on your keyboard, and that will bring you out to the full plan. We can see a camera is still open here, so I can single click on the camera and just hit backspace on the keyboard if you want to close that camera view. So we're going to focus on a built-in refrigerator area. And instead of using my scroll wheel to zoom in, I'm going to use my Zoom Marquee tool. And this is over in the right-hand toolbar. We can just marquee around this area to zoom in a little bit more. Under Window, you can also find multiple zoom tools if you don't see that toolbar on the right-hand side. So for our built-in refrigerator area, I'll get back into our cabinet tools, select our partition tool. So I want to have a partition in this area just to have that built-in look. I'm going to open it. We need to change the height to 71.5 for our refrigerator height. And for that depth, I want it to be 24 to match up with our cabinets here. And I'll just bump that right up to our base cabinet. I'm going to copy that and paste it. So I'll use the copy and paste tool. Now we'll find a refrigerator and drop that into the blank space here. Just single click and then we can bump it up, or you can specify the spacing that you need. Now let's go back to our cabinet tool and place a wall cabinet over the top here. So we can single click and drop that right into place. And we'll drag that depth out so we can actually reach the shelving. Now let's open that and add that same crown molding. So we'll get into that molding area, find that same crown molding, change it to 2.5 and -2.5. Of course, you can change that vertical offset, but I usually just do negative the height. Now let's get into another view, another 3D view here. So I'll use my full camera and take a look at our kitchen. So we have our appliances, we have our built-in refrigerator area, and the color on our refrigerator doesn't match our appliances. We can go up to our material eyedropper. So we can single click on the dishwasher and our spray can will appear. So we can single click on our refrigerator to apply that material. Now let's get into our backsplash options. I'll close our 3D view, and this time I'll use our wall elevation tool, and this is found in our orthographic view tools. You have the cross-section elevation camera, and we also have just a wall elevation. And that's what I will be using. You just single click, drag to that back wall, and that will bring up an elevation view. We can toggle the color on or off. And you also see little diamonds here. These are the door opening indicators. So with our software, you can turn layers on and off. So we do have different layer sets. And let me just scroll up here for the opening indicators. The plus is that it is being used, and we can uncheck that. Select OK for those to be cleaned up and not displayed on this image. So let's get into a custom backsplash. Within the cabinet tools, I will be using our soffit tool. This is a very versatile tool. With the soffit, it's just a generic shape, so you can modify this to be any depth, height, width that you need. So I'm just going to bring that right up to our ceiling. And I will open up this soffit here, and that will give me the depth. It's 13 inches. Our tile is 3/4, so I need to change that, and I'll select OK for that to update for us. So now we have that whole custom surface, and I want to bring up our backsplash on our cabinets all at the same time. So just multi-select, holding down that Control key on the keyboard. Open up those base cabinets underneath backsplash. I'm going to change that to 18 inches. So then those are brought up as well. You can see that there is a little overlap, and that is in regards to these two base cabinets. Let's open those two. And there's a little overhang, as you can see with our 2D image here. There's an overhang on the countertop. It's an automatic overhang, so we can check flat sides for that to be cleaned up. And there we are. So now we have our backsplash. I want to find a specific material, and I found this black brick within our generic library. So with our materials, we can single click on the material, and our cursor becomes the spray can. I can single click on each area to spray that on. So it just brings up our pattern. Let's get out of our orthographic view and back into a perspective so we can see the textures as well. And let's continue applying this to the other backsplash. Oh, I got our faucet. So very easy, just select undo up in the top here. Make sure you don't put that over the faucet handle, and keep on working. Now let's change the material of our countertops. We do have different manufacturer cabinets, so you can download those right into the software. And I have the Corian solid surfaces right in my catalog. So we do have many different beige options. I'm going to get into blue. Let's do a dark blue. And this time, instead of single clicking on each cabinet countertop, I'm going to go down to the very bottom here. C is for component mode. That means you have to click on each cabinet countertop to change that material. We have object mode, and then room mode, floor mode, and plan mode. So I'll select room mode, and with one click, that's updated. Now let's place a finish on our cabinets. So I found a generic color within the core library. And this time, I want to make sure that this blend color with material is selected, so the wood grain comes through. And I'm still in room mode, so with one click, that will be applied to all of my cabinets. We can also change the flooring. I'll select a different flooring type and single click on our floor. We can also adjust materials. Go up to your toolbar, select the little rainbow tool, Adjust Material Definition. Bring your cursor down to the flooring, single click. This will bring up a Define Material dialog box. And let's change a few different alterations here. We're going to change the plank direction. So first I want to get into my pattern. The pattern represents that orthographic view. So we'll update that, and the texture, which is represented in our perspective. So I'll change that angle so we can see that update. Select OK, and it's just telling me about my color changes. And now that plank direction has altered. So you can do the same thing with all of your tile work as well. Very easy to adjust the different directions. We can also alter the glass. I want to have a glazed glass in those cabinets. So I found a glass, And I want to change this to object mode because with our room mode, that would change the glass for our windows as well. And I don't want glazed windows. So I'll just single click on those glass cabinets. We'll get into that adjust material definition so we can make this a bit more transparent. And that's found under the Properties tab. Just bring up that transparency, select OK, and now that has altered. So very fast and easy to change different materials. We can also search for materials. So I'd like a teal color for my walls. So in this search area, just type in whatever you're looking for. And that looks good, so we'll just apply that. All right, now let's get into our library again and add a backdrop. We have a backdrop folder. You can also import your own images. So if you have a picture of your own landscape, you can import that and add it to your user catalog. I'll get into our farm overlook. Just bring your cursor right into that window. Single click, and that's dropped into place for us. All right, now let's get into our custom island. So I'll close our 3D view, get started in our plan view. Our custom island is created with our cabinet tools. So back into our cabinet tools, I'll select our base cabinet, and we can just bring that down, single click, and I'll just drop a few in here. Let's change this to 18 inches. And I'm going to just marquee around all of those cabinets. You'll notice the arrow is pointing towards the face of the cabinet, so we need to rotate those around. Oh, a little diagonal there. Let's try that again. There we go. And I'll move those around a bit. All right, so with our base cabinets placed, I'll get back into our base cabinet and place one on the back. Drag it out. I want to EDAP bar, so I'll be changing the components of this cabinet a little bit more in depth. So I'm going to make that 6 inches deep. I'll open it for specification, and we need to change the height. We'll do 42 inches. Hit Tab so that updates in our preview. We can single click on the drawer. I just want to delete that drawer. I'll single click on the doors, and then I can either change that to an opening or we can do door panel. I'll select that door panel. We'll go back to our general tab, and for the toe kick, I'm just going to place 0 in here. I don't need any toe kick. All right. So now we need to get into those base cabinets again. You can see there's a little overlap with our countertop. We need to make sure that it's a flat back for the countertop so there's no overhang. And now let's place a custom countertop over our EDAP bar area. So our custom countertop tool is available in the Home Designer Pro and Home Designer Architectural. I'm going to zoom in here just a bit so I have a little bit more control. I'm just going to drag that out. You can click on the edge, see that temporary dimension, and let's change that to 16 inches. And then we can move this around a bit. You can also hold down Control while you're moving objects, and that will eliminate any snap that automatically bumps it up to other cabinets and so forth. So that will enable you to be a little bit more free with your movement. I'm going to double click on our Fillet to Lines tool in the editing toolbar. That will enable me to specify a radius and curve our corners. So just single click on the other side. So now I have the front edge selected. click on the Fillet 2 Lines tool, and then single click on the other edge. So that will curve the countertop for you. Now let's place some stools. I'm going to just search for stools here. Type in stool, and let's place some box stools. You can just single click those into place. And I also want to place a few pendants. And I have pendants already in my library. So I'll open up my library here and select those pendants I've saved. And just single click and drop those into place. Let's get into a 3D view. I'll click and drag towards my focus. So you can see our defaults for those cabinets need to be changed. So we'll go up to our material eyedropper, single click on the white cabinets, and I want to make sure this is in room mode, so it applies that to all of those cabinets. And there we are. We can also get into some more lighting with recessed lighting. Let's get into both views here. We'll tile vertically. And in the floor plan, I'm going to scroll in here just a bit. We'll get into our electrical tool. So within the electrical options, you have your 110 outlet, 220. And for your light, I have this set as a default of a recessed light. You also have your switch, connect electrical, and auto place outlets. So for the lighting, I'll just single click. And as you can see in our 3D view, it will update as I place the lighting. So then you can adjust the different lighting. Let's select that recess. And at the bottom in our editing toolbar, we have an off and on switch. So that will be an easy toggle button if you want to specify the different lighting, whether it's on or off. You can also open that for specification. And under the light data, you can change that intensity, the color, tell it to cast shadows, and so forth. So you do have quite a bit of control there. All right, I'm going to expand our 3D view. I'm going to maximize that. We're going to get into a few other 3D renderings. So this is our standard render. At the top, we can select our camera view options. We have a final view, and this will clean up jagged lines that we have. We also have the final view with shadows, so you can work with shadows as well. I'm going to select our vector view. So as you can see with our flooring, the planking direction has changed since we've changed that in that pattern area. We have a glass house, technical illustration, and then we have watercolor as well. So many different options when it comes to your 3D. Within Home Designer Pro and Home Designer Architectural, we can create architectural blocks. For instance, I can marquee around this entire island for all of those objects to be highlighted. We can then go down to our editing toolbar and select Make Architectural Block. This makes it one unit. Instead of separate objects, it's all one, and you can move it as one unit. We can move that dimension. We could do 4 feet. Press Enter. Same with the other side. We can do 4 feet here. So very easy to manipulate objects as one unit when you create that architectural block. You can also add this to your library. There's an Add to Library button that will bring it right in there, and then you can retitle that. We'll just do Island, and then you can use that for additional designs. You can also explode that. Just select it again, and select Explode Architectural Block if you want to manipulate each individual object. Now let's get into our materials list. Under Tools, you'll find a materials list area. We can calculate from all floors. This will bring up all of the different components of our structure. It will gather your heating information. And as we work our way down, you'll notice the flooring, our windows, doors, and then we'll get into our cabinet area. So with the cabinets, it will calculate like your base cabinet, what the material is, the finish, your hardware. You can also add any pricing, and it will calculate that total cost for you. Let's scroll down a little bit more here. So it calculates that interior trim, fixtures, appliances. So it gathers all of that information. You can also export this to Excel, HTML, text, CSV, so you're not restricted to just work within the software. You can alter this outside of the program. Let's close our materials list, and no, we do not need to save this. Now let's get into a layout. Within Home Designer Pro, we have something called a layout page. Under File, we can select New Layout. This brings up a new document, so we can start building construction documents. The largest you can print is 18 by 24 inches with Home Designer Pro. And the other Home Designer programs, you can print whatever is on your screen to scale. So you do have printing capabilities in all of the programs, but the Home Designer Pro just takes it to another level, giving you this option of a layout page and a title block. You can change this. This is just a little template that we have. You can alter the border, bring that out. You can delete. You'll be using all of these different CAD tools across the top to create your borders, boxes. You have the dimensioning tools, and then the text tools enable you to write any notes that you need to, and then fill in all of your boxes as well. So we can get back to our floor plan. Under Window, select the other window that's open, our floor plan. I'm going to zoom out here just a bit. So first, let's bring over our floor plan. So we have a shortcut, Send to Layout. It'll ask us the scale. That looks good. And then we can select that and move it where we need. We also have another shortcut, Control-Tab. If you hit Control-Tab, that will toggle you between the windows that you have open. Now let's get into an elevation view. Under that orthographic camera, I'll select our wall elevation. Click and drag towards our windows. This will bring up our elevation. We can toggle that color off. I'm going to zoom out just a bit here so we can dimension. In our dimensioning tools, we have our manual dimension, end-to-end, which I'll use first. With the end-to-end, I can just drag that right through my room, and it will locate to my walls. We can drag that down a bit. Now back to my manual dimension. I'm going to just drag that right across so it picks up all of my points. We'll drag that down as well, and we'll find those points. So it will locate to the openings. It will locate to the center of your appliances. If you don't need the center on here, you can single click on this diamond and drag it right off. Just single click and drag that off and work your way around. On our corner cabinet, it picked up a few different points since we kind of cut that in half. And you can also open up this dimension line and change that number height if you'd like to as well. Now let's send that to our layout. And that's brought over. We can move that as we need and put any notes that we'd like. And there we are. So very easy to put together some construction documents with Home Designer Pro. I'll close this view. It will ask me if I want to save it, and I do. If you change any location of a window, of a cabinet, this will help update any other views that you have open, as well as that layout page. So within all of the other Home Designer programs, you can print whatever you see on your screen and have all of those full capabilities as well. There are a few things I'd like to show you on our website, and that's homedesignersoftware.com. First, under Products, you can see the multiple versions we offer. You can also select this product chooser to find all of the differences between the programs. If you have an earlier version or just a lesser version and you'd like to get more features, you also have upgrade options. Through the Upgrade Wizard, you can find an instant discount option. Just choose your program and version, and you can receive an instant upgrade discount, or call our sales department and we can help you out as well. We also offer a free trial version of the Home Designer Professional. So you can download a free trial version right on this page if you haven't gotten into the program yet, or you're interested in the features of that Home Designer Professional. Feel free to download that trial version. There's no time limit on it, so you have full access to that program. We also have the content downloads under User Center. With the content downloads, this will be all of those manufacturer catalogs that you have access to. You can search through all of the different topics here and find a manufacturer that you'd like to download into your program. Also under User Center, you can find the training videos. You can search for the specific topic, or you can also select the program that you're using to see all of the different videos pertaining to your version. We continuously have these free live training seminars, so feel free to sign up for multiple training seminars. Under our support area, you can find the help database. The help database is a great resource. These are help articles. You can type in a topic. I'll type in island. And the first one here, how to create a kitchen island. So it will give you the picture and guide you through how to create that as you scroll down. You can also get into our users forum under support. So Home Talk is a great resource for you. You can find other users, post different questions about the software, gives you a wide range of additional support for your program. If you have any more questions, feel free to chat those in at this time. The Home Designer programs are based off of our professional grade software. So it's a very robust program. It gives you a lot of professional tools. We support it with a 30-day money-back guarantee. We want to make sure it's the right program for you and right for your design needs. We do offer many training resources with those training videos, the help database, the users forum, these training seminars. So we really want you to be efficient with the program and enjoy the different tools that it offers for you. If you have any questions about the right program for your design needs, give us a call. We have an 800 number, local number, or email us at sales@chiefarchitect.com. We're here to help you out, get you into the right program, answer all of your questions for you. So if you do have any questions in regards to the seminar today, feel free to chat those in. If this larger area is not on your screen, just select the orange arrow button to restore, and then you can type in any questions that you have. We'll be on for a few more minutes here. Thank you so much for joining today. It was a pleasure going over the program with you, and have a wonderful day.